Hey, listen up. In this video, you're going to understand why ADHD makes you constantly late. Even when you swear this time, it's gonna be different. What I'm about to tell you will help you finally stop showing up running, apologizing, with that feeling of anxiety and adrenaline from always being down to the wire. But if you don't pay attention to this, you'll keep losing respect at work, wearing down relationships, asking yourself every night, why can't I just be like everyone else? But I'm going to show you exactly what causes this time blindness in your brain, so you can leave the house on time, without panic, without rushing, looking at the clock with control and not desperation anymore. And look, I see this every single day. Brilliant people feeling stupid because of something they don't even understand. You're going to learn that the real problem isn't lack of effort. It's lack of a clear method to fix this time distortion in ADHD. So stick around until the end, because I'm going to reveal something almost nobody talks about. The true villain of your lateness might actually be your hyperfocus. That's right. That state of deep concentration that seems to turn you into a productivity genius can actually be what makes you completely lose track of time. But don't worry, because at the end of the video, I'm going to teach you a simple technique to snap out of hyperfocus at the right moment and finally stop being late to your most important commitments. Let's start by getting one thing straight. Your ADHD brain didn't come with the same factory manual as most people's brains. This explains why people with ADHD run late and get tangled up with organization in a way that seems impossible to control. In other words, you're not lazy, you're not disrespectful, and you're definitely not irresponsible. The root of almost all this time confusion is in two main things: how your prefrontal cortex works and the chemistry of dopamine. Let's talk first about your brain's manager, the prefrontal cortex. Think of it as the CEO of your life. It's the one making the decisions. It's the area responsible for what we call executive functions, which is planning, organizing, starting tasks, controlling impulses, and the crucial point here, managing time. In ADHD brains, this manager often matures slower. Some studies show a delay of up to 3 years. This means your internal CEO is overloaded, lost in the middle of the workday. It has a huge difficulty putting tasks in order of priority and calculating how long things actually take. So when you think I can take a quick shower and still have time to make coffee, your brain's calculator is way off. Now let's talk about dopamine, the neurotransmitter that everyone loves to hate. In ADHD brains, there's a shortage of dopamine in key areas. Dopamine is like the fuel that moves you from thought to action. Without enough of it, your brain becomes a master at two extremes. Either you're procrastinating on something boring until the last second when adrenaline kicks in to save you, or you're so hyperfocused on something interesting that you literally forget the world exists. And here's where it gets interesting. That hyperfocus that makes you seem super productive can be a trap. When you're deep in something you love, your dopamine is finally flowing, and your brain doesn't want to stop. It's like being in a trance. You look up and 3 hours have vanished. This happens because your perception of time is completely different from reality. Scientists call this time blindness. Your brain literally can't accurately measure how much time has passed or how much time you have left. For someone without ADHD, time is like a ruler, predictable, visible, measurable. For someone with ADHD, time is more like a fog. You know it's there, but you can't see it clearly until you crash into something. This explains why you always think you have more time than you actually do. Why you underestimate how long tasks will take. Why you forget about things until they're urgent. Your brain lives in a constant now or not now mode. Either something is happening right this second with all your attention, or it basically doesn't exist. This is why you can spend 40 minutes looking for your keys, but completely forget about the meeting that starts in 10 minutes. Your brain is so focused on the immediate problem that the future just evaporates. And when you do finally look at the clock and realize you're late, boom, panic mode kicks in. Your stress hormones spike. You start rushing, making mistakes, forgetting things, and arriving even more frazzled than usual. But here's the thing. This isn't a character flaw. This isn't about trying harder or caring more. This is neurobiology. Your brain's wiring makes time invisible to you. And you can't fix something you can't see. That's why all those generic time management tips don't work for you. They're designed for brains that can naturally sense time passing. Your brain needs external supports because your internal clock is broken. Think about it this way. If someone told a person with terrible eyesight, just try harder to see clearly, that would be ridiculous, right? They need glasses. You need glasses for time. You need to make time visible and concrete because your brain can't do it on its own. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you. How to externalize time so you can actually see it and work with it instead of constantly fighting against it. But before we get into the solutions, if you're finding this helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Seriously, it helps more people discover this content, and I want to reach everyone who's struggling with this stuff. And drop a comment below telling me your biggest time management struggle. I read every single one, and your experiences help shape future videos. Alright, let's get into the strategies that actually work. First up, you need to externalize time. Make it physical, visual, loud, something you can't ignore. Set alarms for everything. Not just one alarm for when you need to leave. Set an alarm for 30 minutes before, 15 minutes before, 5 minutes before. Label them clearly. Time to start getting ready. Time to grab your stuff. Time to walk out the door. Your phone should be yelling at you in stages. Use timers when you're doing tasks. If you think something will take 10 minutes, set a timer for 10 minutes. You'll start learning how bad you are at estimating time, and eventually you'll get better. Get a visual timer, the kind with the red disc that shrinks as time passes. Put it where you can see it while you're getting ready. Time becomes visible instead of invisible. The second strategy is what I call the disaster buffer. Always add extra time to everything. If you think it takes 20 minutes to get somewhere, tell yourself it takes 40 minutes. If you think getting ready takes 30 minutes, block out an hour. This isn't pessimism. This is realism. Your ADHD brain is terrible at estimating time, so you need a cushion for all the stuff you forgot about. The extra time you inevitably need to find your wallet, fix a last-minute wardrobe malfunction, deal with unexpected traffic, or just stand there staring into space for 5 minutes because your brain decided to buffer. This buffer is your emergency fund against being late. And when you actually do arrive early somewhere, guess what? You can sit in your car and scroll your phone for 10 minutes. That's fine. Being early is not a tragedy. Being late is. Third strategy, gamify the boring stuff. Your ADHD brain loves games, challenges, and stimulation. So turn getting ready into a game. Can you beat your record for fastest shower? Can you get fully dressed before your favorite song ends? Make it fun. Make it interesting. Give yourself mini rewards. If you leave on time 3 days in a row, you get to buy that coffee you've been wanting. Your brain needs immediate rewards because delayed rewards don't motivate ADHD brains well. So create immediate wins. Fourth, automate decisions. Decision fatigue is real, and it's worse with ADHD. Every decision takes mental energy and time. So eliminate decisions in the morning. Lay out your clothes the night before. Have the same breakfast every day. Create a checklist by the door of everything you need. Keys, wallet, phone, badge, whatever. Make it a physical list you can touch and check off. The fewer decisions you have to make when you're already running late, the better. Fifth, use people as anchors. Other people have working clocks in their brains. Use them. If you have a meeting with someone, text them when you leave. Tell a friend you'll meet them 15 minutes before you actually need to be somewhere. Having someone else expecting you creates external accountability, but your internal sense of urgency can't provide. Sixth, manage your hyperfocus before it traps you. This is crucial. If you know you need to leave at a certain time, don't start anything engaging 30 minutes before. Don't check social media. Don't start a project. Don't get sucked into anything. Because once hyperfocus grabs you, time disappears. If you absolutely have to do something before leaving, set multiple loud alarms that will physically interrupt you. Make them obnoxious. Make them impossible to ignore. Put your phone across the room so you have to get up to turn it off. Break the trance before it's too late. Seventh, prepare the night before. Your morning self is not reliable. Your morning self is groggy and distracted and already behind. So evening needs to help morning you. Pack your bag the night before. Put everything you need by the door. Set up your coffee maker to auto brew. Make tomorrow morning as easy as possible because you're not going to be at your best. And finally, track your patterns. Keep a simple log for a week. What time did you need to leave? What time did you actually leave? What went wrong? You'll start seeing patterns. Maybe you always underestimate traffic on Tuesdays. Maybe you always spend too long on your hair. Maybe you always forget something and have to go back inside. Once you see the patterns, you can plan around them. Add extra time for the things that always trip you up. Now here's the reality check. Even with all these strategies, you're still going to be late sometimes. ADHD doesn't have a cure. It has management. Some days will be harder than others. Some days your brain will just not cooperate. And that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is improvement. If you go from being late every single day to being late once a week, that's massive progress. Celebrate that. Don't beat yourself up when you slip up. Your brain is working against you in ways most people can't understand. The fact that you're trying, that you're learning strategies, that you're working to change, that matters. Be patient with yourself. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And speaking of progress, I want to hear from you. Which of these strategies sounds like it was made for your brain? Or what's your personal trick, your workaround for actually getting places on time? Drop it in the comments. Let's turn this space into a support community where we share what actually works. And if this video helped you feel a little more understood, gave you that relief of, oh wow, I'm not the only one dealing with this, don't forget to leave a like and share this with someone else who's also fighting this daily battle against the clock. You could make a huge difference in someone else's life. But look, there's something I need to talk to you about before we wrap up. Maybe you've watched this whole video, absorbed every strategy, and you still have this little doubt nagging at you. Like, wait, is my problem really ADHD? Because sometimes I think it's more anxiety. I get frozen with worry. And that doubt makes complete sense. Because the truth is a lot of people confuse the two. The symptoms look way too similar. Inattention, procrastination, restlessness. But the neurobiological root is completely different. And if your diagnosis is wrong, you might be applying strategies for a problem you don't even have. And worse, you might be making what you actually have even worse. The symptoms overlap so much that even professionals sometimes struggle to tell them apart. ADHD and anxiety can look identical on the surface, but what's happening in your brain is totally different. With ADHD, your brain has a dopamine issue. It's understimulated, seeking novelty, struggling with time and organization even when you're calm. With anxiety, your brain is overstimulated. Your threat detection system is in overdrive, creating worry and avoidance even when there's no real danger. Sometimes you have both at the same time, which is super common. And then the strategies need to address both issues, not just one. So, if you're sitting there thinking, wait, which one do I actually have? You need to figure that out first before applying any strategies. Because treating ADHD when you have anxiety or treating anxiety when you have ADHD can actually make things worse. Stimulants for ADHD can increase anxiety. Anxiety medications can make ADHD symptoms harder to manage. You need the right approach for the right problem. Understanding this difference can completely change the direction of your treatment. There's no point having the best strategies if you're treating the wrong thing. So take time to really understand what's going on in your brain. Talk to a professional who actually knows the difference. Get a proper evaluation. Because once you know what you're dealing with, then you can use the right tools. And then these strategies will actually work the way they're supposed to. Don't just assume. Don't just guess. Get clarity. Your brain deserves the right support, not just any support. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Because I'm always putting out this kind of content, science-based, no BS, to help people like you understand how the brain actually works. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.